that's kind of where we start sounding like us.
We were talking about the different phases that the albums represent. If you look back to Dare 23, what's that period for you? Can you what stays most clearly about that time?
Oh, geez, insecurity. You know, I mean, if I look at the songs on that record, the one thing that strikes me about them is they seem to be written by people that were actually older. Like they seem very wise, but really they're not wise. It's just like written by people who maybe have some idea of how things work, but haven't actually lived through some of it yet in a weird way. That said, I still think some of the messages in there are still, I don't know, they're heartfelt and kind of, I think some cases kind of on the money, you know, like they make sense, but we actually haven't gone through some of those things yet, I don't think either, you know. And then also sonically when I hear it too, it just doesn't sound like us anymore to me. It's that far enough away, you know.
We'd never toured when we made that album. We'd done a couple trips to California, you know, so our tour would be like, you know, a 5-day trip to LA and back. We hadn't done like the hard grinding night after night all around the States, and you know, the States is a big place. It takes a month and a half at minimum to do a tour around there. That would explain a lot of the difference between Dare 23 and Frosting on the Beater, because we toured a lot for Dare 23 and it was hardcore.
Yeah, and that record sounds to me like we're still trying to copy other people more than just be ourselves. I mean, the next record, Frosting on the Beater, for me is like, that's kind of where we start sounding like us, I guess, to me, you know, less like our influences.
Do you say that now in retrospect, or did you felt that at that time that when you finished that album, this is us, or was that something that you can say now?
Hard to say exactly, but I do remember feeling really pleased with Frosting on the Beater. Like it was just, I don't know, I think we were of that era of us, that was a real peak for us. And you know, we'd had the experience of playing live, like he was saying, and touring, and then we went out and toured behind that record. Everything just kind of felt like it was firing on all cylinders.
I will say for Frosting that actually it was a fairly difficult record to make, and well, let's put it this way, a bunch of the record happened in these super concentrated bursts of recording that went super well, and then we were bogged down in a couple of really difficult situations making that record. So it wasn't so clear that it was an easy, great, you know, thing. So there was a bit of a you know, it was a bit of an ordeal to get through the record. Actually, you know, we had this mixing situation that went really terribly wrong, with the guy having kind of a nervous breakdown while he was mixing the record. He'd just gotten off drugs and he was just out of rehab, and he completely freaked out. We were like the first band he'd worked with, and he completely freaked out. And of course, you know, we didn't know what to do, and then the record's not really done. We also had this long recording session in New York that was kind of dark in a way and kind of difficult.
In what way, dark?
I think it was just long, too much togetherness. You know, we're staying in like one hotel room and in a city where we don't live, and
one bed, sleeping in the same bed together,
taking turns.
You know, we also started that record kind of half-heartedly right after Dare 23. We tried to make a record that kind of which became Frosting on the Beater with our old bass player at that point too.
Yeah.
So we lost a member. We went through a lot of growing pains, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I remember hearing it back for the first time and thinking that, you know, I thought it was really quite good.
When we finally got the last mixing session done, we started working, well, if you count that this first aborted attempt on the record, that was like fall of 1991 that we started working on the record. And with this session that never came to see the light of day. And then like February of 92, we started the sessions that really became Frosting on the Beater, and it was December by the time we were finally mixing the last stuff.
And it didn't come out till 93.
And in those last sessions, this guy, this second mixer who came in, you know, he totally saved our ass, you know, and put it all together, and he was great. And that in that studio when we were working there, it's like, wow, this is going to be good, and finally. But that's, you know, I mean, a year and a half of working on it.